folks. I'm Craig Lipinski.
I'm Seth Castellan.
And I'm Chris Dunn.
And you're listening to episode 16 of Ludowave Radio, the smooth sounds of video game talk. And it's been about a year. It's been about a year. Not since we last recorded. It does feel that way. That it's been about 4 months since then. But we started recording this podcast a year ago. We're up to episode 15.
Episode 16.
16. Yeah, we're cranking right along here. Yeah, no, it's been 4 months. I imagine that's largely due to me and my shitty neck.
To be fair, like, this is 12 episodes more than I thought we were going to get to.
To be fair, I wasn't on like half of them, so.
And nobody knew the difference. Is your neck fixed yet?
No. So, quick recap on that. My neck definitely got worse before it got better. I was bedridden for like 2 months, worked from home. My neck just couldn't support my fat head, and it was bad. It hurt so bad. I could hear all the bones, like all the vertebrae in my neck grinding.
Oh,
dude, it was so unnerving.
You get some lube in that shit, man. This is WD-40 that neck.
Yeah, basically. Like $3,000 later, like MRI, X-rays, doctor's appointments, months of physical therapy. I mean, it was just expensive, painful. And at the end of the day, like, no one could really tell me what I did. Like, oh, maybe you looked down too much, or maybe this, or maybe that. Like, okay, that's all right. That's maybe it was those things. I don't know.
Probably from balancing all those motorcycles on your head, Craig. I told you not to do it.
I definitely fucked up my neck. But, like, my whole upper body was screwed up. Like, my left shoulder was frozen. The tendon in my right arm was, like, shortened. And that's because, like, basically I held my arms close to my chest like a T-Rex for, like, months. Like, between commuting and holding a steering wheel and working at a computer and holding a video game controller or, like, holding, like, a book. Like, my arms, like, never left that position. And they just got monumentally fucked up from that. So physical therapy, like, yeah, we got to fix that too. And I'm like, oh, fucking Christ. So I'm mostly better, but, like, my neck still gets kind of cranky. I mean, I can sit upright and I can, like, go to work and drive. I can live my normal life.
Can you go to work, Craig?
No, because that's the other thing. I got let go. So, no, actually, they would probably escort me off the premises.
Yeah.
That was very depressing. I had nothing. It was unrelated to my neck, but just the owner of the company. He's like, I don't see the value in marketing. And all my managers were like, no, we need him. And the guy's like, nah. And it's like, I don't see the value in marketing. Like, I had to, like, leave this building where, like, all the business cards I designed, everything, all the material in the lobby, the banners and the welcome screen on the TV, like, I did all that. I'm parked next to a company vehicle with my branding on it. And I'm like, yeah, there's no value in any of this. Christ.
They got what they needed out of you, Craig.
No, that's that's probably true. I mean, honestly, I wasn't going to stay there forever. If I could have eked out another year, like, gotten past, like, the wedding and, like, the honeymoon, had a few extra bucks in the bank, that would have been great. But, this kind of stuff. I mean, it's disappointing, like, in a personal way, because when I was let go from my last job at Pfizer, I had become a mediocre. I was let go because I was mediocre. Like, the work environment got really toxic. So you can make an argument whether it was my fault or not, but I got mediocre. They needed to lay someone off. They picked the mediocre guy. Fine. I was out of work for 9 months. So when I finally got this job, because my cousin worked there, I told myself, I'm not going to let that happen again. And I started at the bottom in this company. There's this department where everyone makes minimum wage, and you don't get health care, and you don't have vacation days. And I started in that department, and I worked my way into a technology role, and then basically was the entire marketing department for 2 or 3 years. And it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard you work, or capitalism will still punch you in the face and tell you should be appreciative of the opportunity to be punched in the face.
It's the T-Rex arms and the afro and shit. That's why you're let go.
Yeah, the owner definitely did not like my hair.
Hey, Jack, can you
My
close the
boss
door?
hates whenever I let my hair get long. Like
My
he won't-
my
Oh, I
hair
left
is
it
so
open so
long
smoke
now.
could get back up.
he
Thank
won't
you.
like at the longest my hair's ever been. Like he would never like say anything about it. But
What?
then like the second I would get a haircut, he'd be like, "Oh,
Okay.
new haircut, huh? You look so good," and stuff. Like he's like my fucking dad, and I'm 5 or something. I'm like, like, what's it matter how long my hair is, dude?
Yeah, I don't know why. It was funny because there's a period of time where like my hair was like long, not as long as it is now, obviously, but like it was too short to like put up in any way, but too long to just keep down because it just got my face. So I wore a hairband, and it was plain black hairband for a little bit, and I thought it looked good. Every woman I encountered said, "Wow, that looks really good." Every dude was like, "Rah!" including the owner. What's going on with the hairband? I'm keeping my hair out of my eyes. That's
Got a lot of hair.
What's
What do
up
you
with the
want?
hairband? Right. I mean, if it was like a frilly hairband with like bows on, I mean, honestly, who cares even then? I don't think it matters. But like, I could maybe see something that it was plain black hairband.
Yeah. This is people, man. It's old people.
Yeah,
Promise.
yeah. He was plenty old.
I mean, we're old people. It's older people. That's the
There's older
problem.
people.
It's older
Yeah.
people. It's always like somebody older that's the problem, or younger.
It's both. Yeah, you're right. Fuck them
It's-
both.
Fuck those people.
Fuck them both.
Fuck them both.
It's most of our listeners, but fuck them anyway.
Most of our listeners are either older or younger than us.
Yes,
That is a good description.
And
Fuck 'em
speaking,
all.
did I talk about the wedding last? I can't remember. It's been 4 months. I don't
Did it
know
happen
if-
already?
No. But like Megan and I had decided to actually get married. We were going to get married next year, but stuff started coming together, and we decided to do it this year.
How's
That seems
going
like a
with
bad. That seems like a bad
Yeah.
decision now. But we got everything on lock, so it's not like
Yeah, I saw the wedding invitations and stuff. Did those already go out?
the save the dates did, but not the invitations.
Yeah. Okay.
The invitations. I mean, we can't. I mean, we've already put like deposits on stuff. I mean, I guess we could eat that, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
Right.
No. I had a job
invited?
interview this week, but
Am I invited to the wedding?
you are not.
Fuck.
Well, if you're not, I'm definitely not. God
That's
damn
fair.
It. This podcast is over.
Fucking ending the whole thing because
I'm trying to start out my marriage on a good foot, guys. Come on.
I'm like okay at weddings.
Megan's met me. How bad could I be?
Yeah, that's good. But she did like you and Jackie. That is true.
Yes.
I don't drink.
That's why you're not invited.
I drink way too much.
I drink I either drink not at all or way too much. There's no happy medium for me.
Well, we have an open bar, so your choice.
All right, sweet. Wait, no, it's not my choice because I'm not invited.
It's neither of our choices. We are not invited.
not our
That's
choices.
true.
The open bar is not for us.
Well, next time I see either one of you, I will buy you a drink.
Thank you. I like Sunny D.
You can put anything in that Sunny D.
No,
You don't like the OJ or the purple stuff? I mean, come on.
just Sunny D. God, I fucking hate Sunny. It sticks in your throat. Like I don't even know any drink that sticks in your throat like Sunny D.
Oh
does.
man, I used to love Sunny D when I was a kid.
Nah.
I thought it was the best thing ever.
What is it?
Citrus flavored juice.
Is it a
flavored
juice? Because
chemicals.
It's more like a I don't
it's
know.
so good. Well, I wasn't allowed to have-
concoction.
I wasn't allowed to have soda as a kid.
But Sunny D was fine.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. Yeah, we had a lot of like bug juice. Like
All right, so sugar water. Was
yeah,
cool, but
watered
not
down
soda.
Kool-Aid, like those teeny drinks that came in those plastic barrels, and they cut your lips all up because you didn't like peel the foil off correctly.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You don't remember those?
No, what are they called?
Maybe this
I
was
think
a
that-
Connecticut thing.
I think they're actually called teeny drinks. They came in plastic barrels, and they look like they're molded. The plastic was molded like a barrel's clear, and it had like bug juice in it, and then there's like a foil top. And if your dumb, grubby little chubby 8-year-old fingers didn't peel that foil off right, you cut your lips all up on it.
That's funny. No, I've never seen these.
They were in Freaks. Megan and I were watching Freaks and Geeks recently, and they had them in the cafeteria. I'm like, high schoolers are drinking this shit? I mean, I thought this is the shit you give kids because you want them out of your hair, but...
I always like Capri Sun.
We didn't have any Capri Sun. That was too expensive. those name brand foil pouch beverages. Are you kidding me?
God, if you fucked up getting the straw, and then the straw would just bend, and then it would get extra hard to get in, and then you have to get it in right at the little edge, and then you get Capri Sun all over your fingers.
Yeah, I never understood let's just put your juice in a bag. Put your juice in a little sandwich bag, and now try to stab it with this puny straw.
It was good, though. Just don't squeeze it. Just for the love of God, don't accidentally squeeze that drink. It goes everywhere.
Good to know.
Anyway, we're talking about weddings or something?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about me anymore. How are you doing, Seth?
Fucking horrible today. One of my sisters is trying to apply for a job with the VA, and there's all these things she has to fill out, and they're all PDFs, and they're like, you need to electronically sign, and she's bad at computers, so I'm trying to explain to her how to do an electronic signature in Adobe Reader, and she's like, oh, I don't even have Adobe. I'm sending her links to Adobe, and then you have to be uncheck all these boxes before you download, and just I'm trying to explain fucking basic computer shit to somebody through text and over the phone, and it's just a nightmare.
How old is she?
She's 5 years older than me, so 40. No, 38. 30. How old am I? I'm 33, so she's 38-ish.
I don't know how people in their 30s don't understand this basic stuff. I mean, what do you got in Mexico? Clicos? Maybe I could understand that, but it's why I had this coworker at my job that I was from, and he was 6 months younger than me. He didn't know what a Google image search was. He didn't know none of this shit.
I had to. Did any of you see my tweet about my boss? Because my boss just pulled the fucking most bizarre shit that I've ever seen. We have to use Internet Explorer for our work computers because that's the only thing that our work shit will run on. So I can forgive him for that. But in the IE URL bar, he goes up top and he types in Google and hits enter. And I guess Bing is the default search engine, so it brings him to Bing, the Bing search results for Google, and then he just starts typing in the Bing search fields for what he wants to search for. I'm like, that's not how you Google, dude. You're Binging. You got tricked into Binging.
Yeah. I've seen old people will type because now, I think in every major browser, the address bar acts as a search bar as well.
Yeah,
and they'll just type Facebook into it and then come to a Google page and then click on the Facebook link on Google, or they'll go to Google first. They'll know that they're going to Google and then type Facebook into Google.
Yeah.
And it's wild, man. And I don't know, maybe there's probably newer technology I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand Snapchat, I guess, maybe, but I don't think that's the same thing. It's weird. It's weird to me.
It's weird. Anyway, so and then one of the forms she had to fill out was a fucking tax document, and then we were trying to figure that out together, and it's just bullshit because it's a tax document. So I'm just stressed today. Overall, for the past, I don't even know how long we haven't recorded. I've been ups and downs. Went to a couple concerts, so that was cool. I think I saw Missio and Bishop Briggs and stuff. Those were fun, and played a lot of video games. So. Whatevs.
Nice.
Yeah. I did not get let go of my job, so.
Yeah, doing better than me. I don't know.
Christopher, how have you been?
I've been all right. I've been, I guess, the opposite of Craig. I've been working a whole heck of a lot. It's been taking all of my time. So, despite
Rub
the fact
that shit right in his face.
Oh, I'm rubbing salt in the wound. I mean, you started it, but I'm going to go all the way here.
Actually, the time off has been fantastic. I'm not going to lie to you. I got a whole bunch of money in savings, and that's not even including unemployment. So, I'm just sitting around playing video games with my pants off. It's been good.
I'm a little jealous of that.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I think it was last month I had a vacation day scheduled, and I actually canceled it and didn't take it because I've had so much shit to do. I just didn't feel right taking the day off, and I feel like that's probably not a healthy mindset to be in. But you know what? That's where I'm at, and so I canceled my fucking vacation day. whatever, man. So I've been working long days and coming in on Saturdays and stuff because just there's a lot of different projects which I am heavily involved in, which I guess is a good thing because, you know, I'm important and stuff, and it's good to feel important. But it's just been a big stress on my shoulders.
Man, I would have to love my job so much to put that sort of dedication into it.
It helps that I'm paid by the hour, so if I stay late, I get paid for it, and if I come in on Saturday, I get paid for it. But,
all right, well, that's plus.
But still, giving up the time, and you know, it's still stressful. And also, I was marathon training, so I was, you know, running 6 or 8 or 10 miles every morning before I go into work.
Jesus.
So.
You can't run 10 miles in the morning. There's not enough time.
You gotta get up at like 4:30. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
I don't
Jesus
recommend
Christ. It. Yeah, well, I didn't know there was a 4:30 in the morning.
There is a 4:30 in the morning, believe it or not. It's many, many hours before you get up.
Probably.
But I ran my marathon, I beat my goal, and I feel really good about that. So at least now I can sleep until like 6 before I go in for my long days of work. But things have been good. I had a birthday. I'm 31, so I feel super old now. I went to Disney World, which I'm sure everybody's surprised about. And
what? You?
I feel like I go to Disney more often than we record this podcast. And I'm probably right about that. But no, things have been good. Like, I'm stressed about work, but I don't know. It is what it is. So
must be nice to have that stability.
Yeah, it certainly could be worse, if you know what I mean.
I do.
But maybe we should talk about some video games.
Yeah, we should. 60 minutes into this pod. Why are we doing this to ourselves? So for a while there, I couldn't actually play any video games. The neck pain was just so severe that, you know, I would work from my bed for the day and then just passively watch like Frasier or Roseanne or whatever the fuck was on Amazon Prime. I went through both of those, like the entire run of both of those shows. But as
I've watched Frasier on the Hallmark Channel before, and they censor out "damn" and "bitch." So if you ever want a really, really clean, nerdy show, then definitely go to Hallmark for all your Frasier needs.
Frasier.
I was worried that Frasier was a little too dirty, so
yeah. So it's all on the risque side. Both of those shows were fine, but you know, as I got better, I played a bunch of games since we last recorded. I'm not going to get into all of them, but obviously I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. I played some Ni no Kuni 2. Played some of the new God of War, which is actually not bad. I actually like it.
I played through God of War 1, and just the whole vibe of the game wasn't for me, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing this series. So how's the new one compared to like the old ones?
Well, I like it a lot more. It's a lot more subdued. It kind of cashes in on that current trend of like somber, grim parents in video games with their kids, you know, raising them amongst violence. And I think Sony's kind of big on that. Mm-hmm. And so I guess in that way, it sort of cashes in on a Zeitgeist in the same way that the original series did. That kind of cashed in on that hyper-masculine, ultra-violence. But I guess if I had the choice between the two Zeitgeists, it would be, you know, Grim Dad. That's a little more appealing to me. The combat is satisfying. It's violent, but it's not as nearly as gratuitous. It's not like ripping off Helios's head while you're mashing L1, R1, L1, R1, and like these, you know, the tendons are ripping out of his neck as he's screaming. It's not quite like that. It's you can't button mash your way through. Maybe some of the simpler encounters you can, but there's a little bit of strategy involved. And a lot of reviews made a big deal about how good it is, how good it feels to like throw the axe and then call it back to your hand. And I don't know if it's something I'd rave about myself, but it does feel good. You can throw this because he has axe, he doesn't have the Chaos Blades. He's got this Leviathan axe, and you can huck it out, and then you press triangle to call it back. And no matter where it is, it comes whizzing back, cutting anything that's in its way.
It's like Thor's hammer.
Yeah. and the animation, the sound, and then the slight vibration in the controller when it hits your hand does feel really good. But yeah, I mean, as someone like you who I've played several God of Wars. They're basically beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
Right.
But like, you got to finger bang a bunch of like women to a mini game or something. Like it's just really stupid. But I mean, as beat 'em ups are okay, it's just that framing device of the Kratos stomping around and yelling at things for 7 hours. I don't want to do that. And this is he's stomping around and lightly grumbling, boy. Like that. So I'd rather have that.
Well, now he's more like a real dad.
He's more like a real dad. That's exactly right. I saw this tweet. Someone said that like Kratos boosting Atreus up to a passage and coming to the end of the passage and finding nothing, and then having to go back and Kratos saying nothing and not apologizing is the most dad thing in the world. But yeah, I mean that's actually not a bad game. I gave it to it. I've also been playing on Switch. I've been playing a bunch of stuff on Switch, including Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I don't hate.
I have not started playing that, but I just opened that recently. Don't ask why. But I just opened like the special edition, whatever the fuck it is. And why does the Steelbook not have its name on the spine?
I don't have an answer for you.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of is like Nintendo was using it for all the regions, and they didn't want to like have to print Xenoblade Chronicles and just Xenoblades. And depending on the region, they're just like, fuck it, just leave it blank. So yeah, and I got this like Steelbook spine with no name on it. It's pissing me off.
That sucks. That's actually, I hate I mean, I like the visuals. The visuals are more bright and colorful and cartoony than the last two games. Especially Xenoblade Chronicles X was an ugly fucking game. That art style was stupid.
The character art is like just bad. Just straight
it was
up
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this one's bad. I mean, there's a bunch of tits and ass everywhere, but which is like that kind of, and there's some weeby stuff in it. That's not really appealing to me. But overall, the more anime aesthetic is more appealing to me. And there's a little more guidance and a little more direction than I think the last two games had. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles X was like, here's a giant city and here's like a weird map of like Catan tiles. Figure it out. This game's a little bit better in that regard. What else have I played? Donkey Kong, of course. Hyrule Warriors. I've been playing this game called Yonder: The Cloudcatcher Chronicles on Switch.
You keep talking about that on the boards, Craig.
I do keep talking about this.
Is this a really pretty game you keep posting screenshots of?
I've posted a ton of screenshots of this game because it is very picturesque. It is an open world exploration game. There's no combat in it whatsoever. There's no weapons. You can craft and you can build farms. That stuff is a lot of the gamey aspects of this game. There's quests. There's like different towns and different people that you can visit on this giant island that you're shipwrecked on. And they'll give you quests like, go find me 7, doodads. And it's, the gamey aspects are not, they're decent, but they're not really that great.
Are you a personal shopper? Is that?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Basically. So the gamey aspects they could be better. Like the foundations are there, but like, for instance, like the farms are really half baked. All the systems are there. It has a placement system. It has a crafting system. It has animals that you can put in, but it's sort of like, it's not quite there. It's not as robust as it could be. But what I like about the game is actually the sense of adventure and the exploration. The level design of the island is fantastic, and there's all these different biomes, and it's just really terrific to just explore the island. That's the best part of that game. That game is, for that alone, the game is worth the price of admission. And if you've been following me on Twitter, I mean, you see those pictures I've been posting, and that's, I mean, if you look at it as a game of like sightseeing with some errands in between, like you'll get something out of it.
Open world walking simulator?
Kind of, yeah.
That actually doesn't sound so bad.
It doesn't.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if that's, like I said, you got to go in expecting that. Like, if you think, it's an open world game with crafting and quests, like, that sounds fun. Crafting and quests is not what you should be there for. But I do recommend it. I mean, if that sounds appealing, wandering around and exploring and stuff like that, yeah.
If you also don't have a job and need to kill a lot of time during
Listen,
the day.
I was employed when I bought that game.
All right.
I was employed. I also I haven't played it, so it doesn't quite apply, but I pre-installed Paladins on the Switch.
Right.
And this is, I mean, you look up videos of this, and it's just shamelessly Overwatch. It is totally Overwatch. It's a free to play Overwatch, and it's sort of like, I think it's like has like the League of Legends model where like you only have access to a certain number of champions at any given time.
I've played a little bit of this on the PC. Actually, my nephew was playing it a bunch, and he made me play like a round.
And what did you think?
It was like Overwatch.
and this is why I pre-installed it, because for whatever reason I can't play Overwatch. I can play fake Overwatch on my Switch.
Overwatch.
Maybe because Megan plays a shit ton of Overwatch too, so maybe Megan's playing Overwatch, I can play fake Overwatch on my Switch. But I mean, I looked up videos of it, I read some stuff, I read some reviews, I solicited some opinions on Twitter, and everything I've read and seen suggests that even though it's basically budget Overwatch, it's still pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. No, it felt good. Like, nothing felt bad about it when I played it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So,
perfectly competent.
how about you, Seth? What have you been playing?
Bunch of shit.
Hell yeah, bunch of shit.
I was taking notes, like, as I was playing games, but some of them are so old I don't even know what the notes mean anymore. I played Life is Strange, which is like a very story-driven game with very little gameplay, but it's like a really, really good story and really fucking good voice acting and everything, and I liked it a lot. So if you want a story-driven game, it's recommended.
I loved that game.
The ending is mean. Like, the ending doesn't suck. The ending is mean.
There's more than one ending.
Yeah. But I don't think either of them are, like, good.
Well,
right?
I think there's like the gay ending.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I went with, but then everybody dies.
Oh, I mean, somebody's got to die. That's someone's got to die. Someone's got to pay for this.
I mean, I went with that ending because I was like, no, I'm in love with this girl. We're girlfriends. So
I know. I wanted them to like live happily ever after.
I did. So I like that one a lot. That was a good game. I played The Last Guardian, which I was pretty underwhelmed with.
Yeah.
I liked the concept of it. I liked the whole.
Everyone's foaming at their mouth for their stupid bird dog game, and it comes out and it's hot trash.
Look,
it was a great concept, but when you wait like 6 years for it.
Yeah, see, it was in development so long, but then there's like just simple things that are like broken, like the fucking your bird dog, your hippogriff. I don't even know.
Sounds like every Team Eco game, then
is huge, and then he has to go through these tiny tunnels, and then the camera's like not made for it. Like the camera doesn't like make walls transparent or anything, so the camera's just like freaking out in these little tunnels and getting stuck inside your dog. I saw inside this dog's head and saw like his eyeballs from the inside of his polygon model like way too many times.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. Nobody wants to see inside the polygons. And then the fucking kid that you play as, he like either tiptoes or flat out runs. There's like it's an analog stick, but it's not like, I don't know why there's like no finesse to it. So, like, you're like, and like half the game, more than half the game, you're like balancing on like breadstick-sized ledges and stuff, and like just climbing these little tiny things. It's like, oh, I could either move incredibly so low, or I could just run right off this edge. So, it doesn't play great. Like, I like the way the world was built. I like the way you progress through it and everything. But just like simple stuff feels like broken and just sort of holds the whole experience back.
Another quality product from Team Eco.
It's pretty. Shut the fuck up, Craig. All right. Shadow of the Colossus and Eco are great games. I played Part-Time UFO on the cell phone. That's a HAL Laboratory game, and it's super cute. It's like a souped-up NES game where object is just like stack and balance things. It's really fun, and it's cheap. And I like it. Undertale. Played Undertale.
I need to play that.
It's like an Earthbound ripoff. And you don't need to kill anything is like the two things that I took away from it. And this game's like super hyped up and loved by so many people, and I was just like, meh, it's okay. It's an alright game.
All right, maybe
Yeah, I thought it was
need to
pretty
play
good. I guess I didn't get. I don't know. I think a lot of that was like, well, I think there's plenty of people our age that enjoyed it, but it's sort of like, I don't know, the younger crowd who, I don't know, fucking read Homestuck or something, you know, and get attached to those sort of things.
Right.
It is a good game, though. One of my favorite things about that game was like the save system, where like you saved at weird abstract things. Where like, oh, you crinkled the leaves under your toes, and that's like that saves your game. I kind of like that.
And it and even though that's another thing I like about it. Even though you're saving, the game is like secretly saving behind your back too, because you could like since you don't have to fight anybody, you don't have to kill people. Like if you do kill somebody and you reload your save, like they'll make little comments and stuff about like, oh, you actually killed this person, and then you just reloaded your save, so it like knows what you're doing. It's doing some sneaky save stuff behind the scenes, which is neat, but it's not. I don't know. It's a 2D walking simulator. You just keep walking to the right the whole game with light puzzles in there every once in a while. It's fine. Whatever. Kirby Star Allies I played through, and it was really boring until like the last world or two, and then it was super fun, which is like every Kirby game for me.
Did you play that by yourself?
Yeah.
See, that was I played the demo, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking boring. And then every review came out and basically said the same thing. But it did say that like if you played with people, it was fun. But like I played that demo, and I'm like, no.
It gets fun like at the last two worlds.
I ain't got time for that.
The last world's like super long. I think there's only like 4 or 5 worlds, but then the last world's probably like 3 worlds, as long as 3 of the other worlds. So it's fun at the end. And then the last boss is all like fucking super crazy Kirby shit that always happens. So overall it's fun. And then you unlock the like the boss rush stuff, which is like super hard and challenging, and that's the stuff I super like in the Kirby game, so I had fun with that. But overall, like I don't think it's good as the 2 3DS games, but I think it's better than the 2 Wii games. So I'll stick it.
Oh, you think it's better than Epic Yarn?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean I haven't played the full game, so I can't say, but I think Epic Yarn is terrific. I thought the 3DS games, I would say Triple Deluxe is my favorite Kirby game ever. Uh-huh. I thought the game was terrific, and you know, Planet Robobot is very similar, so I like that one too. So I think it's kind of a shame that Star Allies is not up to. I mean, if they wanted to make a simple multiplayer Kirby game for the kiddies, that's fine. I get that, but I guess from my perspective, it's a little disappointing coming off 2 really good games.
Yeah, no, I could see that, but I mean, it picks up eventually. I also like the graphics in that game, in the Kirby game, are just like insanely, ridiculously unneeded for a Kirby game. Like there's so many like effects going on. Like there'll be like realistic water reflections, and then light reflections, and then shadows coming through like the slats and like little walkways. But it's like Kirby. It still looks like a Kirby game, just with all this shit going on. It's funny. It's funny.
It's like Animal Crossing New Leaf with like shaders on the grass.
Yeah, it's insane. I played the Silver Case, which is one of Goichi Suda's, one of Suda 5-1's earlier games, and got remastered or whatever. That game, it's not much of a game. It's like an old school adventure game mixed with a visual novel. So you're just like walking along set paths and talking to people, and then you'll hit points where there's just a whole lot of reading and stuff. And then very, very light puzzle solving and like finding items and using items and stuff like that. But the story is like about serial killers who like grew up in bunkers, but then there's like this whole program, and it's really the government who did everything. It's like batshit bananas. And there's two tracks in this game. So there's like the main story track, and every time after you beat one of the chapters in there where I have no idea what the fuck's going on, then there's another story track that you could do, play alongside it. And that one is like a reporter who somehow gets intertwined with every single case that's going on in the Silver Case side of the thing. And he like is working to actively figure out what's going on. And then I found out that Suda actually, Suda wrote and directed the whole entire side where that doesn't make any sense. And then another dude at the company is the one who wrote the whole reporter side. And it was actually to explain what the fuck was going on in Suda's story because even he was like trying to figure it out. So it's like literally trying to work through what this whole game is.
Do you get to plug into anybody's eyeballs in this game?
You do not plug into anybody's eyeballs, but eyeballs do play a very big role in the game, actually, eventually.
So you're saying Flower, Sun, and Rain has something up on this one?
Yeah.
No plugging of the eyeballs.
No plugging in. And there's no pink alligators wandering around or anything. Flower, Sun, and Rain is definitely the more enjoyable game, I would say, out of those two. I'm almost done. I played through Nier on the Xbox 360, and this game is like the most simultaneously like shitty and small and amazingly deep and just best game. It's the worst best game I've ever played. Like you could tell they had like the fucking shoestring budget. They made a world that's probably like smaller than Ocarina of Time overall, with quests that just take you to the exact like same 5 locations over and over again. But the story and the characters and the dialogue and the voice acting are just fucking top-notch shit. It's some of the best stuff I've played, and it's highly recommended by me. What do I wrote stuff here. Let's see. Very confusing, starts making sense by the end, multiple endings. Oh, right, there's multiple endings. So there's a halfway point in the game, and there's actually 4 endings, and every time you beat the game, it starts you back at the halfway point, so you don't have to do the whole entire thing over. And really, you keep everything else. It's sort of like a New Game Plus. So it's probably like only 3 more hours till the end again, and then the story just keeps compounding on top of each other. This game's 8-ish years old, so I'm going to not even shy away from spoilers. And the messed up thing, to get the last ending in the game, it actually, like, you have to erase yourself as a character. You have to, like, give up yourself. You have your player character to save one of the other characters in the game. And it does this very literally, and it starts, like, going through your journal and everything, all your save stuff, everything you collected, and just starts deleting it line by line by line. And just starts deleting everything in the game, and then you have to delete your own save file and delete everything that you've done in the game in order to get the final ending and save this person, which I thought was really cool and nothing I've ever seen in a game before. It, like, actually makes the player sacrifice something real and somewhat tangible, which is your save file, in order to fully complete this game. And I thought that was neat as hell.
Yeah, I really liked Nier. I didn't play it like right when it released. I remember there was a lot of like, I don't know. I think there were some journalists who were like down on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like fishing played a big part in that.
Yeah, I think one of those, one of the 8 million McElroy dudes had a problem with it or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a big part of it. But I mean, I bought it much later, and it was like dirt cheap. It was like on clearance, and I mean, like I ended up really loving it.
One of the cool things it does is, like, for the majority of the game, plays like a third-person action-adventure game, just behind-the-shoulder stuff. But then there's, like, these very strange tonal shifts in the game where, like, there's one village. It's a very small village. All the villages in the game are very small. Like I said, like, 0 budget on this thing. Where, like, the entire thing is done, like, as novels. And, like, you actually read everything. But the characters are aware that they're reading everything. And they're like, just shut up and just read all these words and stuff like that. And it's very cool. And then you get to a mansion in the game that is just straight up Resident Evil camera angles and everything, and movements and everything. Sort of goes into tank controls, actually looks a lot like the Resident Evil mansion too, and it's kind of spooky in there and stuff like that. And then there's also an area that does like a very top down, like Diablo sort of going through corridors in the isometric perspective sort of thing, and it's like just really cool tonal shifts in the game.
There's like some bullet hell stuff in there too.
Yeah, all the bosses do like fucking bullet hell shit. There's just stuff spitting out of them everywhere, and the crazier ones go crazier and crazier. But I like that game a lot. And finally, I had just finished playing Batman Arkham Origins, and the game is fucking trash. I
never liked any of those games except for Arkham Asylum. I felt like once they introduced the open world, that those games just completely lost me.
All right, so I liked Arkham City. I liked Arkham City a lot. Arkham Origins is like Arkham City, but worse and with like way more glitches. Like I've had to restart checkpoints at least 10 times because sometimes after you beat up a group of enemies, the last one there you have to interrogate them, and I won't get an interrogation prompt. Like the dude will just be on the floor, be like, don't hurt me, and I can't get a Y button prompt to interrogate the dude, so I have to restart and beat them all up again, and then the interrogation button will come up, and just this different like glitches like that. Like some of the cutscenes where Batman's just like walking around talking on his little earpiece, like he'll stop talking, but he'll still be walking around with his earpiece, and I can't do anything. Like the cutscene's not transitioning right. Just a bunch of weird glitches like that.
Did Rocksteady develop this one too?
They did not.
This one was WB Montreal.
Was this the only one that was not Rocksteady?
I believe so.
Yeah.
No, because there was one of the like very small spin-off ones from.
Yeah, there was a 3DS Vita game that wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh well, that doesn't. Yeah, I'm talking about the console.
Yeah, of the console
ones.
ones,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the only.
Yeah,
one
I mean
that
that
wasn't
probably
Rocksteady.
explains it then. That
It
was
has
a whole
a-
new studio trying to get their arms around something that I'm sure WB was like whipping them. They're like, yeah, we need this holiday season.
Right.
Probably. The combat system's fucking top notch though. Like super good combat system.
It's weird. I feel like when I hear about this game, people either love it and they say it's like one of the best in the series, or they absolutely fucking hate it.
Yes, there were so many people who I've seen who were like, "Oh, it's too bad it's not like fucking Arkham Origins, the best one." I'm like, really? Really? So that's kind of one of the main reasons I gave it a shot. Also, I want to play Arkham Knight, and I want to check out Arkham Origins
Right.
first.
Which one has the Batmobile where you can't run people over?
Yeah,
That's
that's
Arkham
Arkham
Knight.
Knight.
That's these games are so stupid. I don't
I'll
even.
be playing that one at some point.
Arkham Origins I have not played, and that's because it wasn't developed by the main team, and like they didn't have Kevin Conroy being Batman, and like it seemed like it was kind of definitely a B tier thing.
It's so B tier. Yeah.
And that's the impression I always got, and it seems like you're kind of validating that impression that I got.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed Arkham City. I thought it was good. It wasn't as good as Arkham Asylum. I really liked the way Arkham Asylum was very much a Metroid game.
It was a Metroid. That's why I liked it. It was very
Yeah.
tightly designed. It was so good.
Yeah, and then they went open world, and it was good, but it was definitely something completely different, and I think not for the better. And then Arkham Knight with the Batmobile and stuff, I didn't love that. So
I get why they went open world. I mean, it's sort of like a power fantasy to be Batman patrolling and swooping through this city.
Yeah, that's why I liked Arkham City.
right.
Yeah.
And I get that. I mean, I get that.
I just feel like they did that better than Arkham Origins did.
yeah,
But I feel like as a matter of game design, I just don't think this, as fun as the power fantasy can be, I just think as like a matter of game design, those open worlds are just not as strong. Like, I mean, an open world could be hypothetically, but I think Rocksteady's open worlds in particular were not nearly as strong as their tightly designed levels of Arkham Asylum.
yeah. I enjoy Arkham Knight enough, and I like Arkham City quite a bit, but I definitely agree they're not as good as Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum was just fantastic for what it was. And then the other ones were good, but just not what I was looking for, and I think not what their strengths were, which is unfortunate.
Let me give you an example of the progression problem in Arkham Origins real fast. So it's open world, and you can literally go anywhere in the city as soon as you want. And, of course, there's, like, towers where you could activate the towers. Then you could get, like, fast travel points with your Batwing to fly around to different areas really quick. But some of the towers you're locked out of until you get gadgets, like, more than halfway through the game. So you could, like, go to those city or parts of the cities. It just takes forever. And there's like no point. Like, why can't you just unlock these fucking things right away? There's literally no reason to gate you off from fast traveling to areas of the city you can already travel to. And also a bunch of the fucking things that are gating you out of areas are Steam and Batman. Batman being like, oh no, I can't fucking
Steam.
walk through Steam. Yes. And that drives me insane. And literally the fucking thing that you get to bypass the Steam is the very last gadget you get in the game. So like the Steam that's keeping you away from stuff
Steam.
yeah, the Steam that's keeping you away from stuff in the beginning of the game, you could finally fucking get past it like 60-70% of the way through the goddamn game.
But that's what
So
I mean by like the
ridiculous.
open world design is not nearly as strong
Yeah.
as the fixed design.
It's not doing great things there. Oh, I played Mario Tennis Aces Open demo. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a fighting game.
That seemed really popular. That kind of took me, because I didn't touch it. So, because I mean, Mario sports games are like, they're hit or miss with me, and generally speaking, I don't bother. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of surprised to see on Twitter people raving about it.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody was talking about it for a little while there.
It's easily the best Camelot tennis Mario game I've played.
I always feel like the Mario sports games are just like these brightly colored battles of attrition.
No. The mechanics in this version are fucking genius. Like, they literally went straight out with fighting game mechanics. So you have a special meter bar that you fill up just by like doing normal charge attacks, but then you spend that meter in different ways. Like, if you miss the ball and it goes past you, you could like flick over with the right stick and jump towards it, and you'll spend some meter, but you'll be able to get to the ball. But if you're like super good and you like can you sort of predict where the ball is, and you could do your little flick trick move before the ball's even to you, you'll build meter. Once your meter is a third of the way full, you could do a special shot, so you could like use your meter for that. Or once it's all the way full, you could do a super duper special shot. But then you could also use your meter to slow down time in order to get to balls, or in order to block the very fast shots. So it's like meter managed. It's a meter management fighting game, and just the mechanics just work so good and so fast paced, and it's just easily the most fucking comprehensive that Camelot's made any of their tennis systems. Like, I played the 3DS. Mario Tennis game, and that game's fucking like so one-noted. Like, you get inside the fucking little star thing that appears in whatever color it is, you could do a special shot for that thing, and it's just very one note. And
which feels like a waste, because a lot of that game, like a lot of the Mario sports games, are built on like really good foundations, but then just somewhere along the lines, to me, it just doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, no, this one, I was worried about it when I first like saw it. Whoa, you gotta aim with the fucking gyro and stuff like that. But it's so fast paced, and just everything makes sense and works that I love it. It's super good. I think it's gonna do well. I'm definitely excited for it.
Huh.
You should have tried it out, Craig.
I know, I'm like shook now. Do you ever play the Mario soccer game on Wii?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
That was
pretty good.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought the mechanics were fantastic. Playing that single player, though, oh, holy fuck. It felt like someone was ripping my fingernails out.
I could never beat the Final Cup in that.
No, me neither. No.
It's the hardest fucking Mario game I've ever played, I think. Yeah, no, it gets crazy hard, and then once you lose the Final Cup, you start all the way back over. So I was like, "Fuck, playing this." But I had so much fun with it, with playing with people locally and online and stuff. So
yeah. It's a shame the single player is just so brutal, because mechanically that game is actually really interesting.
Yeah, the mechanics, Mario Tennis Aces, top notch.
Okay,
Interesting. I wish it wasn't such a short demo. I'd be interested to try this out.
Yeah, no.
They'll probably bring it back around again. They do that with Splatoon and ARMS and stuff.
Yeah,
so
you're probably
I'd be
right.
surprised they didn't bring it around again.
Just find some fucking top tier matches on YouTube or something. It's crazy.
I don't feel like that probably does it justice, because I've watched the direct footage and stuff. I don't really.
The direct footage isn't as good as even just watching some of the. I don't know. I'll find you a good clip.
Okay, all right, fair enough. It's just, to me, it just felt like an also ran. Hey, we got to fill a slot.
Right.
That's what I was expecting. What I thought of.
Sure.
That's what I thought of when I first saw the direct. I was like, this looks. And I didn't even play the Wii U one, but the 3DS Mario Tennis game I was let down by a lot. So I was like, I'm not expecting much from Camelot on this one. But nah, man, they fucking got that game design on lock. Huh. That's it for me. I talked a lot. Chris?
Cool. I played the Mega Man Legacy Collection on Switch, which obviously is old news for a lot of people because it came out on other systems 3 years ago. But I actually never played the Mega Man games when I was a kid, so this is reasonably new to me. I played Mega Man 2 last year, I think, on my NES Classic, but I never played them as a kid or anything like that, or on the Virtual Console or on the GameCube Collection or any of that. So very new to me, and I like it.
What game are you up to?
I skipped the first one.
Okay.
I played the first level of it, and then it told me I need to get a high score or something, and I was like, fuck this, I'm done. And I played Mega Man 2 on the NES Classic, and then I beat Mega Man 3 in the collection, and I'm almost done with Mega Man 4 at this point. I'm up to the point where you have to rebeat all the bosses again, and I'm like, I'm going to take a little break. So
Yeah, that's classic Capcom.
yeah, that seems to be the case. Having just played 3 different Mega Man games, I can confirm that is the case.
Yeah.
But I like these games. I think being an adult at this point, I'm glad that I can play it on my Switch, and not have to occupy the TV and have the rewind feature and the save states and things like that. I probably would have loved them as a kid, being able to, even if, to me it sucks having to, when you die at a boss and you get game over and you have to go and beat the whole level again. Like, I'm an adult. I have a job. I don't have time for that.
I know, miss me with that shit, right?
Yeah, so having the rewind feature and the save states is great, but like I probably would have loved it as a kid despite that. It wouldn't have mattered. But I'm trying not to abuse it. I'm trying not to rewind if I get hit or something. I'm trying to, actually do a front to back defeat the boss. And because I want the challenge, I don't want to, I got hit, I'm going to rewind it and just spam the hell out of it. But
you also don't want to be stressed out either.
Exactly.
Because that's not fun.
I think I probably would enjoy it more if I had the time to actually go and beat it without doing that. But I don't. And I'm glad that these features are there and I'm able to enjoy it the way I am,
The first time I played the Mega Man games was on when it came out during the PS2 era collection, anniversary collection, I think it was called. And man, every game after Mega Man 2, 3 through 6, just sort of ran all together for me. I cannot differentiate those in my mind in the slightest.
That's kind of how I feel, and I was feeling like it's because, again, I'm not playing it like people did when they were younger, where they have to, replay the level again if you die, and, you have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, which power you have to use to defeat a boss and things like that. Whereas I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this one. Oh, I died. I'm just going to try a different one when I, load my save state.
Well, I think 3 through 6 kept interjecting new ideas that
there was
1 and 2 weren't doing. So it's which one was the rush coil in?
There's one flying around on Rush. You could slide under things starting in one of them, and the bird started showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 3 introduced where you had the dog that you could bounce and stuff, and then 4 has the sliding, and I don't know even what 5 is going to bring to the mix, but probably going to go to that next. But
also, the games all look exactly the fucking
they
same.
Really
they
do.
Look exactly the same.
So I feel like had I played them when I was younger, they'd probably be all-time classics for me, like everybody, like a lot of people look at them as. For me, I enjoy them a lot, but I think the fact that I'm sort of cheating is kind of bringing them down a notch for me, which is unfortunate. But again, if those options weren't there to save state and things like that, I probably wouldn't be playing them because I just wouldn't have time. I'd get defeated by a boss and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go move on to the next thing. So
when did this rewind feature become a thing? Because it's in the new Genesis collection that's out.
It's in the Disney Afternoon, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think the Disney Afternoon collection was the same developer as the Mega Man Legacy collection.
Yeah, it's that Frank Cifaldi, right?
Yeah. And I think the second Legacy collection actually was developed internally at Capcom and doesn't have the rewind thing.
Yeah, that's why I heard they couldn't put all the games on one cartridge or something.
I think they could have, but that's a separate thing. It's hard to believe they can't fit all these 8-bit games on one cartridge. But
incredible.
Whatever, man.
It's literally so many fucking kilobytes of data right there.
Yeah.
Did either of you play Mega Man ZX or ZX Advent on the DS?
I did not.
No, I stopped at the Zero games and never got to ZX.
So, I mean, I've played a lot of Mega Mans, but the only ones I've ever really enjoyed are those two. And I think they're terrific. I mean, that was during the era where everyone's like, Capcom hates us and they don't make Mega Mans like I like.
Those are Metroidvania, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, but those were the next, that's the next evolution of Mega Man. I mean, you have X and you have Zero. This is the next series. So it was Mega Man proper. It's just that I don't think Capcom could ever figure out how to do a packaged retail Mega Man during that generation. They just could not figure it out. They did have a there's a prototype first-person Mega Man that they had going for a little while, but they ultimately canned that. Did you guys ever see footage of that?
Yeah, that was also developed by the guys who did the shitty version of Arkham on Vita.
Well, that's probably why it never came out. But to me, it made sense that Capcom, went the handheld route for the next evolution of Mega Man, because, I mean, how does that translate to a $60 product that you buy at the store? I don't know if you can really do that, but right. I think those games are terrific. They are Metroidvania, so there's a little more of like an adventure aspect to them. I think they work really well. I really like them.
It's Metroidvania, but it's with the like the Mega Man Zero style, where you got the dashing and the wall jumps and everything, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
oh and God, that sounds awesome.
And the powers are like what unlock areas.
Because I fucking love the Zero games. Those are some of my favorite like action.
No, there's some story in here, so there's some talking. I'm like, shut the fuck up! I gotta shoot something. I don't know why you're talking right now. The first game had. The mapping system was terrible. It was awful trying to find your way around. The second game fixed that. But they're really good. Like if you like Mega Man games, you like Castlevania games, you like Metroid games, or any combination of those, I mean, you really got to check out the ZX games on DS. They're really good.
I own them.
You haven't touched them, you motherfucker.
Did you just open them like Xenoblade?
No, I just had to get rid of that big fucking box and shove it somewhere so I could take the game out.
Yeah, I had never played any Mega Man games before I played Mega Man 2 last year, so I'm pretty excited for the I think it's the X collection coming to Switch later this year.
X games are bomb.
I hear good things about those, and something a little more modern will be interesting, having played now 3 NES Mega Man games, which, like you said, all kind of run together a little bit.
Actually, good luck with X6 and 7, because those are fucking terrible, but...
Well, that's okay. If I get through, like, a couple of them, I feel like I'll get my money's worth, so...
The first X I think, is my favorite.
It's just, like, super well-designed game. It's a good lesson in game design, that one, on teaching players how to play without fucking tutorials and stuff. Cool. God, which one? Whatever one has the Guns N' Roses characters, that's the last one I like. Most people don't like that one, but I like the one with the Guns N' Roses characters.
Yeah, I forget which one. I know what you're talking about.
It's either 4 or 5.
There's like Axel.
Yeah, in the US version, they named all the bosses after Guns N'. So there's like Axel the Red, and Duff McWhalen, and Grizzly Slash and stuff like that. So it's fantastic.
I'm almost done with 4. I'm pretty sure it's not that one.
Just stop at that. Whatever one's the fucking one with Guns N' Roses, play that one and then just stop.
All right, I'll do that. The other thing I want to talk about, which, being that it's been 4 months since our last episode, and I talked about Celeste in the last episode. Sorry, guys, but I fucking loved Celeste. Did you guys ever end up playing this?
I never got around to it.
You really should.
Not yet.
I really love this game. I started playing it basically on a lark because everybody was talking about it, and I was like, all right, I'll put it on. I'll play it while I have the TV on in the background or something. It's a 2D platformer. I don't need to be super focused on what's going on. It's not a big story game, but I ended up really, really, really loving it. It's a 2D platformer. Each stage is broken into different sections with a checkpoint at the end. So if you beat a stage or you finish the screen, you don't have to replay that again, which is good. If you die, you respawn immediately, and the sections generally aren't that long. So you're going to die a lot, but it doesn't hurt that you do, because it feels like, oh, you just want to play again. You play as this girl trying to climb this mountain. Celeste is the name of the mountain, not of the girl. The girl's name is Madeline.
Oh, I would have assumed the other way around.
I feel like that. Well, that's why I
would assume the mountain was named Madeline.
I feel like you just assume that Celeste is the name of the girl. Not that it really matters, but I wanted to clarify that. So there you go. You only have a few actions. You can jump, you can grab onto walls, and you can air dash. And you have limited stamina, so you can grab onto the wall and climb a little bit, but then you're gonna start to slip. You can air dash once in the air, and eventually you get a double dash. But you have a very limited moveset, which I think is cool. And you have that moveset pretty much from the beginning, and it doesn't change other than you get a second air dash eventually, and maybe there's a little bit towards the end that changes. But for the most part, your moves are the same right from the beginning, and the only things that change are the environments. So, like in Chapter 2, you have these blocks that you can dash through, and they give you a boost. But a lot of these blocks are up against a wall, and if you crash into the wall, you die. Chapter 3 has where anytime you walk through an area, it gets contaminated, and if you walk back through there, you're going to die. So you can't go back. You have to just keep moving. Chapter 4 has wind that is constantly coming towards you. Either it's coming towards you from the left or the right, and it's coming at different speeds, so it's constantly different. Which is really cool. You know, it gives you this limited moveset, but it's constantly challenging you in different ways. It really challenges you to know the controls, and there's a lot of trial and error to get through each stage. But again, because you're constantly respawning immediately, I never felt like it was frustrating in any way. There are enough checkpoints, and you know, the sections are short enough that it really doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't feel like, you know, a lot of times when you die in a game repeatedly, it can get frustrating, and this is not that. At least in the main story, let's say, because there's a whole lot of extra content once you beat the main game. Even in the main game, there's strawberries you can collect, which I talked about in our last episode, which I'm sure you guys remember, you know, since it was only about 4 months ago.
They're just listening to it on repeat for 4 months.
Yeah, you gotta keep fresh. These strawberries you can collect in each stage are totally optional, and they don't unlock anything. They just basically give you a little extra challenge.
They don't unlock anything.
They do not unlock anything. I have played this game for 50 hours, and I can confirm that they do not unlock anything.
That makes me mad.
Then don't collect them. You don't have to.
No, but I have to collect them.
You don't have to.
Are you telling me not to collect collectibles?
No, I'm telling you, I collected them, and I thought it was great. It doesn't matter if they don't unlock anything.
Yeah, what's the point of the collectible?
This is really hurting you, isn't it?
That's literally the point of the... Yes, the point of the collectible is to unlock things.
It's unlocking challenge. Think of it as unlocking a hard mode.
Did you get like a little symbol next to like your level?
It does indicate them on the level select screen. And it does give you a different maybe image at the end of the game, but
panic attack averted.
There are other things for you to collect which will unlock things. Each stage has a collectible heart you can get, which if you collect them all, it unlocks an extra level at the end. There are 7 main chapters, and then there's an 8th chapter that opens up if you get these hearts. The hearts are cool because you have to either do a puzzle or explore to find them. It's not like it's just a platforming challenge. So it gives you something a little different to do. And each level also has a hidden cassette tape that unlocks a harder version of that level. B-side levels, which have different music and have kind of the same themes. So you have, you know, that wind or those same blocks, but it's just like a harder version of that level.
They stole that from Meat Boy.
Yeah, they did, but that's okay. I mean, I think Meat Boy is a fair comparison to this game because it's a lot of the same thing where you die and you respawn immediately, and you're going to die a whole heck of a lot of times. All right. If you complete all the B-sides, then there are C-sides to complete, which are even harder. The C-sides are actually shorter. There are only a few sections in each level, like 3 or 4 sections, which is nice because they get so freaking hard, but at least you get an idea of how long you're going to be going for. C-side 7, I think, is the longest one, and the last section of that is my fucking nightmare. Because it took me, hours to complete. I think I died like 2,000 times on that one level. But I have no regrets about that. It was all worth it in the end, even though I did not get anything from collecting all those strawberries.
Oh my god!
Even late in those bonus stages, it's introducing new mechanics, and that's not to say new button presses, but new ways to use the few mechanics that you've had since the beginning of the game. So like there's a special wall jump where if you hit the wall a certain way and press the button at the right time, you can do like a higher jump. And that's been there the whole time, but they don't even introduce it until like very, very late in the bonus stages, which I think is just really awesome. There's these things that have always been there and you just didn't even know it. Which is super cool. One of the really interesting things about this game is the way it plays up themes of anxiety and depression, which I think at least
Sounds terrible.
all three of us are familiar with. There was a quote that somebody put on Twitter, which I copied here. And they said, "The game is depression. Depression feels like standing on a tiny platform surrounded by spikes with no clear way out. Depression is incremental successes that take 1,000,000 attempts and feel like they should be easy." And that is a great way to describe this game. You know, it's so hard and you're constantly dying, but you keep pushing forward a little bit and eventually you do succeed.
I barf in my mouth a little bit every time someone tries to like drum up a metaphor for depression, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, saying it's a metaphor for depression because of the way it plays is maybe not so reasonable, but like the game also goes like literally into that. Like there's constantly characters telling you that you should give up and things like that. And to me, it stuck a nerve with me as somebody who has struggled with anxiety and depression at times. Like I don't know if that's why I love this game so much. I'm not going to say it is, but it certainly it stuck out at me.
Yeah, I mean, I joke about barfing my mouth. I mean, just to be clear, I'm sure most of our listeners know. I mean, I have major depressive disorder myself, so it's, you know, a little self-deprecating a little bit. But I guess for me, like, I can accept that the game is intentionally making a point about depression. And I can also accept that, like, perhaps one or more of the developers did so as a way of therapy for themselves. But as someone with depression, whenever I hear this kind of stuff, like, it feels like weird pandering to me.
I saw a thread on Reset Era, and I didn't click on it, and it was like, Dark Souls is a powerful metaphor for depression, and all I could think was Dark Souls is the depression of emotions or something.
It's the depression of emotions is so good. But it's, you know, I mean, this kind of, I mean, again, a little off base here. I mean, you know, for instance, we got the news today that Anthony Bourdain killed himself, which is unfortunate because Anthony Bourdain was fantastic. But then you get like all these tweets that are like, "Oh, if you're feeling sad, call the suicide hotline." I mean, I don't want to hear that shit. If someone's actually concerned about my well-being, fucking text me. Don't fucking send up a generic tweet. Those are like the people that send those mass Happy Thanksgiving texts to their families. This is empty, fucking meaningless shit.
Yeah. If you're depressed, you know when shit's an empty gesture.
Yeah.
And it feels not good.
Right. And that's why, like, it's so hard for me to look at something, again, having not played Celeste, but look at something like that can be like a really good therapy tool for the person who created it and a good metaphor for someone who doesn't have depression, or maybe for someone who does. But for me, I just look at it and I go, ugh, stop telling me my shit.
Yeah, and I'm not going to suggest that it should work for you. I mean, depression is such it's different for everybody, obviously. And,
right.
And I'm not going to suggest that because, you know, it really struck a nerve with me that it should with you. But it really did with me, and I think it's definitely something worth looking at, even if you're not looking at it from the point of depression, just as a good game. I think it really works really well.
Yeah, eventually I do plan to check it out, but yeah, obviously as a good game, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if you put the depression stuff aside, it's still worth checking out. And the music, which I think you guys had asked me about on our last episode when I was still pretty early, and the music is so good. You know, there's some depressing tunes in there because there's a lot of dark moments, and there's some melancholy stuff, but there's some really upbeat stuff in there too. And I've actually bought the soundtrack on iTunes and I listen to it regularly. It's really, really damn good.
Yeah, I looked at some of the tracks on YouTube. It is really good.
Yeah. The song where you're actually finally getting to the top of the mountain is actually like a really upbeat and like fist pumping song. And I actually listened to that in the last mile of the marathon that I ran. And it really like pumped me up as I was running my last mile and made me run faster, I feel like. So it as somebody who doesn't listen to a lot of music, it kind of, you know, pointed out to me the power that music can have. So
it feels like this game did a lot for you.
It really did. I'm amazed that I put more time into this game than I did into Mario Odyssey. I feel like that's saying a lot. But I dug it a lot. You know, the music is good, the gameplay is good. I put way more time into it than I ever expected to. And I don't know that everybody is going to love it the way I did, but I think it's definitely something worth checking out. So that's why I'm talking about it 4 months after I finished it.
Do you know that 1-2 in Super Mario Bros. Is actually a metaphor for depression?
One more time?
You guys, we got to cut this short. I got to go play 1-2 in Mario.
I said 1-2 in Mario, level 1-2, 1-2. The underground level is actually a metaphor for. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Was that a joke?
Yes, it's a joke, you motherfucker.
Oh, usually you're a funny guy, but you really tanked that one.
Ah,
I got it where he was going with it.
thank you.
All right.
Chris got me.
That's it.
I have a mailbag.
What?
Oh, let's do a mailbag.
Can we do a mailbag real fast?
Yeah, let's do it real fast and go to news.
It's just one. It's from February 10th.
Incredible. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day?
2014. No, it says...
Dear TV and Lust Podcast.
Is LWR, I've never seen us abbreviated before, is LWR ever going to have guests/friends on the show? This is code for I've been listening since 2012 and would like to be on the show.
Only 2 years?
Somebody named Gwen. And I just wanted to address this because when we were first talking about rebooting Ludowave Radio, we were all like, had these grandiose plans before we realized we're all just lazy pieces of shit. And we're like, yeah, we're going to have like new segments and we're going to have like guests on and like old people like Steph and Matt and stuff. And we're going to have like do cool things. And then we're like, no, we just fucking kind of settled in the same format that we used to do. So I don't know. Like we don't get paid for this and we like are not super awesome at it. We're not like top tier podcasters. We're not pros.
Speak for
I
yourself.
would say we're in the upper 50 percentile as far as amateurs go.
That's not. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not hard.
Have you seen some of the direct that's on iTunes?
No.
You can't see podcasts, Craig. You have to listen to them.
I avoid podcasts like the plague. Podcasts are fucking terrible. Anyways.
Chris, I have synesthesia. That sounds bigoted. I see every podcast.
I like the ones where you can taste words. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if we're gonna ever expand on this thing. Like, I would like to get us there, but at the same time, like, so lazy.
I feel like we should get back to recording regularly first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that.
Like getting other guests on the show is like literally takes planning. This episode, like, I don't know, like 4 hours before recording, I was like, hey, do we have news to talk about and stuff? And Chris is like, sure, I'll find something.
He sent us a geriatric ass email.
Okay, when I copy from Apple Notes to Apple Mail, you'd think that it would keep the same goddamn formatting.
I'm glad I could see that email with my cataracts and everything.
It's in 40-point font, man. I think it's get about 5 words per line. But so that's the effort that we're putting into the show these days. So like for us to be able to step up to that level may not happen soonish unless one of us wants to, start putting in extra effort, and then we all should, because then we'll feel bad that we'll be like, oh, I'm doing all the work. Nobody else, it's a whole thing. It's a power struggle. Craig especially gets a little touchy. No, go ahead, Craig.
No, I was just gonna say that, like, I'm all for it, but only if they record at the time that we record at the same time. I don't think we've ever done this show, Ludowave Radio, at any other time except for Friday nights at 9 Eastern.
Yeah,
and if someone can make that. I mean, not just anyone, like some random dude. Like, I could be on the show.
I'm gonna get my mom to be on the next episode
on Twitter. Who's available?
But if a hypothetical guest could just meet that, like, I don't really. It's probably not a problem.
Is there should we is there some sort of vetting process we should do?
Come on, it can't be any worse than me.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just up to. I mean, the vetting process is just like, do we want this dude on our show?
Like beforehand, do
we want them on our show, and can they be here at 9:00 Eastern?
Well, right. I mean, will they be? I mean, the thing is like, I mean, like I said, we're amateurs. Like we're not perfect at this, but like you do have to like come prepared to talk and not have uncomfortable silences and react to something else that someone says or keep the conversation going. And it just some people, they're not used to having to do that on a podcast. They've never done it before, so. It's not gonna sound great. I don't say that to be mean to anyone, of course, but that's just
right. Having good opinions is only half the battle, and I mean I don't even have good opinions, but
they can have bad opinions and we can roast them.
They can have
just
good or bad opinions, but
all.
They don't know how to carry the conversation.
If you have mediocre, boring opinions, then you're not on the show.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. We would actually have to take time and be like, hey, are you good at talking on fucking podcasts and stuff like that?
Send us your resume.
Are you good at using the word fuck to fill in when you can't think of a word to say?
Fuck, I don't know.
Fuck. So I don't know. Like we had plans. We had bigger plans for the show, but it's effort. It's effort, and we're not getting paid for it. So we'll see.
And now a message from HelloFresh.
I don't know what that is, Craig.
You don't listen to many podcasts.
We can't even get Blue Apron. Come on.
I literally avoid podcasts.
They all have like the same ads. They all have,
this Casper mattress has the right amount of sink and bounce.
Go to CasperMattress.com/Ludowave Radio for 10% off your first mattress.
Oh my god! If we could get sponsors and I get to read the sponsors' messages, I will. Oh, I want sponsors, man. I want sponsors. I am into that.
HelloFresh is the only home meal delivery kit that Ludowave Radio uses.
All right. So that was my mailbag interjection. We could do our geriatric news time.
Do you want to talk through the news, Seth? Since I just talked for like 10 hours about Celeste.
Do the news, Chris.
All right, I'll do the fucking news.
You have one job,
Chris. I don't have it pulled up, so that's an
fine.
emergency.
I'm not going to scroll 20 years on my phone to read this news.
You are only going to see one line at a time due to the type size. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. We have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu were announced for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are a thing. They have the original Pokemon from the first generation, and it's set in Kanto.
AKA the good ones.
I would be inclined to agree, but I only ever played
I hope I just
Pokemon.
pissed off so many people with that.
I hope everybody's pissed off the way I say Pokemon.
God, it's like you're like my Midwestern grandmother that I never had.
Pokemon.
That tracks.
Yeah, you want to get some Pokemon, sweetheart?
Yeah. Hey, I'm doing that thing we said the guests shouldn't do.
I think these look fun. They're not. These are not the mainline games. They're perhaps their own separate line.
No, Craig. Game Freak said they're mainline games.
They said they're mainline games, but they also said mainline games are coming next year. So
that means more mainline games, Chris. The fucking insane vitriol for these games is like amazing. Like, I can't even be mad at it. I'm just like in shock at what I'm reading about people who are so mad that these games exist.
Well, these are people that will spend like 30 hours hatching an egg just so it has the nature and the IVs and the EVs and all the other shit that they all the fucking numbers they got in a spreadsheet that nobody else fucking cares about.
You can't even hatch eggs in this one, Craig.
I mean, after the insane success of Pokemon Go, can you really blame Nintendo for trying to capitalize on that with a $60 game?
Those 2 billion downloads aren't real fans, Chris.
You're right, Seth. You're right, but
I think this makes perfect sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
I intend to get a copy and play it, and as long as there's a next generation that's more in line with X, Y, Sun and Moon, just the next iteration of those. I don't see a problem with this.
As long as there's another glass sandwich coming up ahead.
I liked X, Y, and Sun and Moon. Those were not glass sandwiches. Those were good games.
No, I think it looks super fun, and it's like all bright and vibrant, and you got co-op and shit. I think it looks cute. I think the only
thing that sucks is that motion controls are mandatory. It's a fucking Wii ass game.
Only for aiming.
Only for aiming, right? But I don't play my Switch on console mode. I've used that for multiplayer, and that's it. I've never played single player on the dock.
It's fine.
Never.
Nope.
Wow.
It's fine. You could point your Switch slightly left and right.
Maybe it'll be more.
can do this.
Maybe it'll be more. You can do it well with that Pokemon controller, that Pokeball controller.
Oh yeah, you could get a Pokeball, and then you get a $50 Pokeball, so
And
you
just
can
throw it at
your.
your handheld Switch.
That'd
No.
be fun. That'd be fun, Craig.
No.
And then it rumbles and makes a little.
I think that would
noise.
be. I think that would be fun for like the first like hour, and after that, I would be so sick of that fucking controller.
But Craig, you cut a Rapidash, can't you tell?
Oh my god, it's Raticate!
Okay, you don't want to play with the Pokeball controller, but are you going to buy the Pokeball controller?
I will not.
Oh my god,
Seth, are you going to buy it?
Every fiber of my being is telling me, Seth, don't buy this piece of shit thing that you're not going to use. Just don't do it. And there's like a 90% chance I'm going to buy it still.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, I'm so fucking horrible. But
If it was on 3DS, I probably would. I mean, that's, I'm still collecting for 3DS, but like Switch, I'm like, whatever.
you could walk around. You can walk around with the Pokeball, and then secret stuff will happen that they won't tell us about.
I tried to put Pokemon Go on my Apple Watch, and it didn't. I recently reinstalled Pokemon Go like a few days ago, and I'm like, oh, this works on my watch. I should try that. And it just every single time I would like load up the game, it would just crash. And I'm like, oh, it sounds like the Pokemon Go experience is exactly the same as when I
I've
last
been
time I
having
played.
so much. Like I never uninstalled the game, and I still play it like somewhat regularly. And just in the past week and a half, I've just been having the worst fucking login problems with the game. Like half the time it'll freeze and while it's loading, and then I'll have to like log out of my account, and log back in, and that's the only way I could.
So I can't.
get it to
I
go.
can't even do that. It shows the loading bar, and it shows Professor whatever the fuck his name is says don't
His
play
name's
Pokemon
Professor-
Go while you're driving, and then
His
it
name
loads up.
is Professor Dilf, and you will respect it.
Professor Dilf. He is one handsome Pokemon. Person.
He is so fucking hot, man.
I want to see him with that lab coat off.
Yes.
But it'll load up. The meter will fill up, and it'll just crash. It'll just close the app.
Yours will close all the way down. Mine will just freeze like once it's halfway loaded.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Still as sterling as ever.
It's fantastic.
I have long since
There was a
deleted my
really good
Pokemon
period
Go.
where it worked for like a year.
I was
It
really
wasn't
into
the first
Pokemon
year.
Go for a while, but
No, it was not the first year.
that was the year that I played it, and it wasn't great.
It was a disaster. But everyone and his brother out. I mean, I look out my window and be like 87 fucking people roaming around, walking into each other, fucking playing Pokemon. It was
Yep.
crazy.
There was a park near me that had like 6 Pokestops in it, and there was 1 million people there every weekend.
Man, one of the parks here had like I can't even think of what the blue team's name is, and I'm Mystic. It had like Team Mystic graffiti tags on like near fucking gyms and shit. They were fucking going gang wars on Pokemon.
Yikes!
Yikes! No, it's fun though.
And now all those people will be playing Pokemon Let's Go, sitting on their asses inside again.
Yep,
the way God intended.
the way God intended us to play video games.
What else we got?
We've got Tetris Effect coming to PS4, developed by Enhance, which is led by the designer of Luminous and Rez and Child of Eden. And the name comes from the Tetris effect of people seeing Tetris blocks falling after they've been playing a whole bunch of Tetris. Because they're trying to make it more immersive and stuff, but like I don't know.
First of all, I think the game has potential to be amazing because fucking Mizuguchi's great.
I
and-
never realized I wanted a Mizuguchi Tetris game, but now I want a Mizuguchi Tetris
But
game.
the fucking trailer for this game is the most pretentious bullshit I've ever
It
seen.
totally is.
Yeah, but it's totally pretentious. But especially for Tetris. Yeah, I don't disagree. I can't. There's not even a but there. However, I did like it though.
Yeah, no, I'm into it, but at the same time, I had to laugh at myself for being into it because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's
I
fucking,
want this
it's
game to
VR.
be great, but I watched that trailer and I was like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely.
It's ridiculous, but it's VR, Mizuguchi, Tetris. What can go wrong here?
I've never had the
have
Tetris
VR,
effect.
right, Seth?
Yeah, I do have PSVR.
Yeah.
I've never experienced the Tetris effect, but I've had something similar with Luminous, where like I would like be sitting on the toilet and looking at the bathroom tiles, and I would just think like, I can get rid of these on the next beat.
I have totally experienced the Tetris effect.
I've never done it with Tetris. I've got it from Rock Band and from like Hatsune Miku games and even Smash Brothers. Fucking playing too much Smash Brothers, then go to sleep and all I see are characters fighting in front of my eyes.
Oh, I guess in that case, yeah. I mean, I've experienced that with like Overwatch. I just think in my head like what I would do in this situation. Or do
It's just playing nonstop.
Oh yeah, in my head all the time.
No, the game looks great. I'm into it.
Yeah, I am excited for this. Like you said, it looks a little ridiculous, but I mean, Tetris in itself is great, and if they can preserve the Tetris, I feel like is so perfect in just a basic form. So if they can keep that while still making it, look as batshit insane as that trailer looked, then I'm here for it. I'm excited. And
when's the last time a Tetris? Sorry, when's the last time a Tetris sequel really? Has there ever been a Tetris sequel that? I mean, it's not going to top Tetris, but was noteworthy, you think? Maybe Tetris DS?
I think the DS game.
I love Tetris DS, but like 90% of that is just because I love all the NES sprites all over the game.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But stuff like push mode and stuff was really fun, too. The versus mode where you're like each building Tetris things on opposite ends of each other. No, that was a good game. A lot of purists don't like it because it has infinite spin. Infinite spin is bad for purists.
Gives a shit.
Heard that. Yeah, I like the idea that this is going to be a Tetris that they're differentiating it with the visuals and the music, but hopefully it's classic Tetris because I feel like they try to do these sequels that do all kinds of different things, and I don't want that. I just want Tetris, man.
There's always going to be Tetris, and like the stuff in the gameplay, it looked like there was like pre-set up Tetris boards, and like you're like trying to solve the boards that were already made up with the Tetris pieces you get. And that's all I can make out from the trailer.
Right. The trailer didn't show us a whole lot. I assume we'll find out more at E3.
From like the 10 seconds of gameplay at the end of the 2-minute trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Seems cool, though. So. And Crackdown 3 was delayed to 2019. Is anybody surprised?
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Crackdown delayed.
This game was apparently announced in 2014, which was 4 years ago at this point. This is ridiculous.
I think Crackdown 3 getting delayed is the game. I'm gonna be so disappointed like when it comes around it's not delayed again.
I mean I don't even own an Xbox One and I'm not gonna buy Crackdown 3, but I feel like this was worth pointing out because it's more ridiculous than that Tetris trailer was.
It's comical on like several levels. It's comical because the game's been in development forever. It's comical because like how hard is it to make a game where you jump over buildings and throw cars at people? I don't understand.
You wouldn't think it'd be that hard. And the third
thing is like, does Microsoft even do video games anymore?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with these guys?
What is going on? Well, I feel like they're barely starting to want to do video games again with all like the Phil Spencer talk where he's like, oh, we're going to start building up studios and stuff like that. What the fuck were you doing the past 4 years? You have a console on the market, dude. Like, take care of your
Well, I think they really, I mean, they for a long time, and I think they still do, really want that to be like an entertainment hub. Right. And video games are part of that, but like it's not the primary purpose. Whereas,
well, you look at when they announced the Xbox One, they did that big TV, focus on TV in their big event, and look how that went.
Sports brought to you by Xbox.
Yeah, that thing was a botch and a half.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I guess for me, like, I don't really care too much about like their core franchise. Like, Forza's never. I don't care about Forza. And Gears, I love the original Gears trilogy, but when that ended, I was done. Mm-hmm. Halo 4 was good, but I just, after Bungie, I just didn't really care that much. I don't know what they got other than what Rare's do. I mean, what's Sea of Thieves? People who play it seem to really like it, so I don't want to knock it too much, having not played it myself. But it just looks like a pirate-themed chat room. It looks like Club Penguin for grown-ups. That's what that looks like.
Oh, that sounds awesome, man.
That sounds awesome. It's a Habbo Hotel for grown-ups, which is fine, but that doesn't scream. I got to run out and grab this. To me, here's the problem with Microsoft. They don't really want to make good games. I know that sounds stupid. I mean, of course they want to make good games because good games make money. But what they want to do is sell services more than they want to sell games. So when you look at like the games that they put out, particularly the failures, they're trying to push something other than the game. So you look at like their post Lionhead Fable, right? That Fable Legends, that weird dungeon crawler thing. I mean, I was in the beta. That thing sucked because the economy was so bad. But that game wanted to push free-to-play microtransactions. That was their big brand free-to-play game. Fucking tanked, and they closed Lionhead because of it. Like, Lionhead had to eat shit because Microsoft wanted them to do a business model, not a game. And same thing with Crackdown. That's a business model, not a game. We got cloud computing breaking these buildings apart. Who gives a flying fuck?
Right.
Who cares? And what other games they got? I mean, Halo 5 had microtransactions. Like Sea of Thieves is a persistent online game. They want people buying the Xbox Live. They want the microtransactions. They want the cloud computing. They want to sell services. They're not pushing games.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Xbox 360 was super popular, but it was still not a moneymaker for Microsoft. And even with the original Xbox, usually the first consoles are money sinks anyways, and just get brand recognition. So I think after 2 generations of not particularly making a bunch of money off the Xboxes, do you think it's like they're like, all right, it's finally time we go in and start fucking churning out profits on this Xbox brand we've been building up for all these years?
Well, I think in some ways this was their plan all along, like to merge all their different brands under like this set top box that can do it all. And that sounds like lofty goals in 2001 when the Xbox came out, but now is the time when technologically they can do that. So, I mean, at one point you had Zune Music on the Xbox. Zune Music on the X. I want to reiterate that Zune Music on the Xbox 360.
Kids, ask your parents about Zune.
Ask your local boomer what Zune is. They got this mixer thing. I mean, when you turn on the Xbox One, I hate this UI because the UI just throws engagement things at you, whether that's ads or like, hey, this is a friend of a friend, or like, hey, check out Mixer, or hey, like it's always throwing like these engagement things at you. And I think that's exactly what they want to do. I think they're always moving towards this. And now that they've gotten there, they forgot the game part, the main reason why people bought into the console. There's just too many balls in the air. They couldn't juggle them all. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah. 360 was my preferred platform last generation, and now I don't even own an Xbox One. So that's
here.
That's how much they lost me.
Yeah, I loved the 360. I loved that system. And Xbox One, I mean, I own one, unlike you two, but it's unplugged. It hasn't been turned on since Rare Replay came out.
That's a long time.
That's been a while.
It's been a while, right? There's been no reason, because multiplats will play on the PS4, and also I'll play like Horizon or Dad of War or whatever.
Right.
On the PS4. Right. I have no reason to turn on that machine.
Here's my big Microsoft E3 prediction. They're going to bring back Scalebound.
It makes me wonder why they can that. I mean, there's another example of them just... I can't imagine why... I mean, it's not like Platinum are like shit-tier developers. I mean, maybe you don't like them. Maybe you don't like what they do. That's fine. But, like, they make good games.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder, like, who fucked up there? And personally, I mean, my guess is Microsoft fucked up somewhere.
Somewhere I feel like the game plan went awry. Because when all of a sudden, like, you're showing a demo with, like, 4 people riding dragons, playing online, fighting bosses, I was like, wait, what the fuck is this game? This isn't the game that was being demoed before, where you're just chilling out with a dragon and controlling a dragon, being Dragon Bros with a dragon. Dragon Bros.
Right on, Dragon Bro.
All of a sudden, it was like some weird multiplayer online boss battle thing. I was like, what the... So I feel like somebody pitched something, and the whole.
That's probably what happened. Like some middle manager decided, oh, the game should be this, and Platinum was like, and I mean, but that's exactly like Fable, right? I mean, that's exactly like a Crackdown. Like Microsoft, says, "Hey, make this game to our shitty specifications using our shitty services." And the developer makes that game, and Microsoft goes, "Oh, this sucks." You fucking think? I got news for you. The problem's you, Microsoft.
It's not me. It's the children
And
who
it's
are
just,
wrong.
for me, I mean, I don't think my tastes are exactly niche. Like, I'll play a lot of different kinds of games, but like, there's just nothing Microsoft does that interests me. Like, if they could bring back a Fable, I'd play a Fable. I would play a new Fable in a heartbeat. It kills me that there was actually a Fable 4 like spec, and Microsoft was like, nah. Do a free-to-play game. Just kidding. Do nothing. Just kidding. Go get unemployment. It kills me. But like a new Fable or like a classic Rare franchise, or even not even like necessarily like a new Perfect Dark, but like like
Battletoads.
Battle. I mean, that's fine too. But like more like just something that like harkens back to what Rare used to be capable of,
And not like Ukulele.
Not like Ukulele.
I still haven't played that. I have it downloaded on my Switch. But
I'm going to talk about the game next fucking podcast because I forgot that I played that. That's how forgettable the game is.
made a big
I
impression.
really did not like that game. That game was...
I want to shit on it some next episode.
Yeah, I'll help you. Let's do it.
Maybe I'll play it before then.
Please, at least play the first world.
All right, I'll do that.
That'll be enough.
Or play what you can of it. Because
Yeah, I don't know
just
that I'm going to play the whole
constantly
thing based on what you guys are saying. But
It puts a bunch of objectives in front of you, and then you can't access them because you don't have the power or whatever. And I mean, I get like
Jesus.
it wants to tease objectives, like oh, you'll have the ability later to do this, but like half the first fucking world you can't do.
It's not Steam though. It's not Steam stopping Batman.
No, it's not. That game was stupid. All right. Well, we ragged on Microsoft and Ukulele.
I'm really curious to see what Microsoft does at E3 because they got to fucking pull something out in order.
Oh, Phantom Dust. There's another one they killed.
Which one was Phantom Dust?
That was an original Xbox game, and it was like a weird niche game. It's actually really weird that they revived that in the first place, but it was a really cool ass original Xbox game, and they were remaking it for Xbox One. And then I think there was like the remake became some sort of maybe like free to play version or something, and then it became nothing at all. They killed it.
Leaks?
Leaks?
Everybody's leaking?
people are leaking.
E3 leaks?
E3 leaks.
I wasn't going to talk about leaks because there's not much to say until E3.
I sort of just want to talk about how funny it because like Walmart.Canada like leaked a shit ton of games, and then like Nintendo leaked games just by uploading stuff onto the eShop ahead of time, and then
Fortnite coming to the Switch is like the worst kept secret.
Yeah,
it is. And then what else? Like WB's leaking their own games, and Steam is leaking Just Cause games, and
well, it's getting more. You know, when you have so many different entities that are in on this before the general public, whether that's retailers or marketing people or whatever. I mean, it's just gonna happen.
There's so many different points where that can leak.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna leak something.
The one's coming,
or
directly
everybody's
from,
gonna
like,
leak something.
The one's coming directly like from the first, from the major studios leaking their own stuff is kind of funny to me, though.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
But one of those leaks, there's a leak for like Nintendo stuff, and it's gaining more and more veracity with more stuff that's coming out. But it had Fallout 3 Anniversary on that leak, which makes sense because Fallout 3 came out 10 years ago. It came out in 2008, and that's weirdly the thing that's got me the most excited.
Is that the one with like a F-Zero SX on it?
Yes.
Oh, I do not ever believe a new F-Zero is going to come out. I can't let myself believe that because then I'll just get disappointed when it doesn't happen. So no,
it has been a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up neither because I really want Fallout 3 on Switch. Like, it's been 10 years since I played it, so it's not fresh, but I don't really remember everything from it. And playing it on a handheld. Yeah, Fallout 3, I really want to play that on my Switch.
I want to get into
But
Fallout.
that had a couple of other things on there too. Did it have Fortnite on there?
Fortnite was on there.
And then it had Pokemon Let's Go before it was announced.
To be fair, Pokemon Let's Go had sort of leaked even before that.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true. I mean, but I don't know. I guess I'm remaining hopeful, Seth.
All right.
I'm hoping for both of us because both of us will get something we want out of that list.
You could be the optimist. This the rumored Star Fox racing game sounds amazing to me.
It does to me too.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why people are so weird on this because, the on rails flying segments in Star Fox they're not too dissimilar from a racing game.
No, and open world racer with Star Fox and shit like that is. I just pulled up the leak list. So the other thing that's on there is a Punch Out game, which would be amazing because I fucking love Punch Out games, and Fire Emblem Memories. And then names for some of the other games, like Yoshi's Flipping Island.
That's the only that is actually of all the things on that list that make me think it's fake. It's Yoshi's fucking island. Like, just call it Yoshi's fucking. Just call it what you mean.
That does sound really fake.
Yoshi's Flipping Island. Are you kidding me?
I think it's somewhere. I feel like Nintendo could go there because it's kind of like dumb but still cute. I don't know.
I hope this Star Fox thing is real. I hope it's cheesy as shit, though. I hope it is it is.
Star Fox is cheesy, so it needs to embrace that for it to work.
But I think people take Star Fox seriously. When people are like, "Oh, there hasn't been a good one since '64," I think they look at like the cheese and like things like Star Fox Assault or Star Fox Command and think like it's lesser because of that. Because it is more overtly cheesy than Star Fox 64.
The problem is that they fucking played Star Fox 64 when they were like 6 or 7 years old, and they thought that shit was like epic good writing and stuff.
That's true.
But
yeah.
it is horrible. So it's like colored their perspectives all wrong, and they're just like,
don't party just yet.
exactly.
I love that game. It is cheesy. I love Star Fox Assault because that one is cheesy as hell. It's I don't know. I think a lot of people don't like Star Fox Assault. It has its low points, but I loved that game.
I wasn't into Star Fox Assault, and it was not because of cheese or no cheese. It could have been better, but I like the idea that like you had like these big, massive air and land battles going on. That like, I mean, maybe a more talented developer could have pulled it off better. But like the idea that you could get into the sky and you were like shooting people, and then like stuff was going on the ground, so you had to like land and get out and start blasting things. And that wasn't even. I actually liked the part where you could get out on foot and then in a tank and stuff like that. I was into that stuff. It was the stuff where like you have to fly really slow while somebody's standing on your wing shooting stuff. I think that happened twice in the game.
It did happen twice, yeah.
And that drove me insane.
It wasn't a big deal. Sort of. I've even forgot those things were in the game.
Yeah, no, it bugged me a lot. I don't know. I feel like it had potential. I liked where it was going, but I don't think it was super good.
Fair enough. Did you like Command?
I never played Command.
Oh, you own it though, don't you?
Shh! Don't give away all my secrets.
It's not much of a secret.
Command was good too. I loved Command. Command was so good.
I like the look of Command. I've seen like some of the endings. People have posted like, because apparently there's like a million different endings, and I've seen some of the stuff, and it's just so fucking stupid that I love it.
Oh, it's so cheesy. Star Fox is like at its best when it's just embracing that cheese.
Yeah, and if Retro Studios is making such a game, I think they would understand the cheese.
They can pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, just going by what they have done with Donkey Kong, I think they got that shit. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and Metroid Prime Renegade is the subtitle that they have on this quote-unquote leak list for the.
That's not as stupid as Yoshi's Flipping Island, but it's
no.
up there.
I mean, the last game was called Corruption, so I mean, it's not like they got fucking poignant.
Oh, I was actually under the impression that wasn't Metroid Prime 4. That was Metroid. It was called Metroid. It doesn't just say Metroid Renegade.
It says Metroid Prime Renegade.
Oh, my mistake then. Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess that's feasible then. Yeah, because you have Echoes and you have Corruption, so I guess Renegade works. I thought it was just Metroid Renegade. I'm like, that's dumb. I don't know why Metroid Prime Renegade works better than just Metroid Renegade. but it does in my head.
Because Metroid Prime, you're already on that whole, like, look how cool I am tick.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think
It's not Metroid, it's Metroid Prime.
Yes, exactly.
What
What part of the story would lead it up to be Renegade? Where are we at in the Prime? What happened after Corruption?
Oh my god, I don't remember.
Because Fusion is chronologically the most recent, right? Like she has
Yes.
that Fusion.
Yeah. At the end,
but the
of
Prime games
Corruption-
take place between like 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Right. It's before
one
that,
of those
yeah.
ones where they like shove 50 stories in between two. At the end of Corruption, one of the hunters from the fucking Metroid Prime
Yeah.
Hunters game
That's right.
starts tailing
Psylux?
Samus.
Is that a name?
Yes. Yeah, right. Something along those lines. He starts tailing Samus in his ship, and that's the whole teaser for whatever was going to happen next with Metroid Prime.
Yeah. Did Federation
God,
Force
Metroid-
tie into any of that Prime stuff? I never
Ooh,
finished that one.
Nobody knows.
Not really.
Fair enough.
Federation Force was really good, and so was Hunters. But those games, you really have to play them multiplayer. If you play them single player, they kind of
Right.
suck.
Yeah, I started playing Federation Force with friends, and I liked it, and then I fell off and never finished it. And now, like, I don't know anybody who's going to play with me. So,
I'll play
play-
Federation Force with
I'll
you.
play with you. I'll play with you too. Yeah.
All right,
well, it's
let's
like,
do that.
it's like
God,
Triforce Heroes, where like
I did
it's
do
a
that with
phenomenal
Triforce
game.
Heroes. That was great. But
That's a great game, but if you play it by yourself, you're gonna have a bad time.
right, totally.
Oh my god, let's all play Federation.
Yeah,
Force.
let's do
That'll
that.
Be that'll be
And
so
we should do Triforce Heroes too. I got. Listen, guys, I got all this time. I got all the time in the world.
Well, I got
Guess
no
what?
time, so
I have
balances
Triforce
out.
Heroes, and I've never played it. So I'm in for that one too.
I completed
Hell yeah, let's do
Triforce
it.
Heroes, but I'll play that again.
All right, that's our game club, Federation Force.
All right. So I got to play Federation Force and ukulele. Really looking forward to this.
Poor man.
What is this? 4 months before our next podcast? Because I don't think I can do it in 2 weeks.
Better hope. Anything else that we got?
I'm done.
There's some Destiny news, but I want to talk about it.
Don't talk about Destiny.
I don't want to talk about it.
My girlfriend's secret shout out will be upset if you start talking about Destiny. Craig.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. I'll talk about some Destiny then.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
They got some of the yeah. There's a new expansion coming out, year 2.
I'm gonna take that
called
nap that I was talking
Forsaken.
about before we started recording.
No, actually, I haven't. I'm sort of over Destiny. I think.
You've said this before, Craig. I don't believe you.
Yeah, well, no, because I mean, I said that before, and then I came back, and it still wasn't because a new expansion came out that I already paid for, so I figured I'd give it a shot.
Right.
And I can't. It gets up. That game is up its own ass with all like these dumb chores you got to do to get a stupid gun, and they don't explain nothing to you. You got to like open up like 8 tabs on your fucking browser on your phone just to figure this out.
That's what game specific wikis are for, Craig. I fucking hate this trend of needing wikis to figure out what to do in games because they become so obtuse and don't explain shit to you.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny's always been kind of like that, but it was like if you wanted to go the extra mile, you know what I mean? But
Right.
now, because the hardcore fan base loves that shit, and because it gets Bungie into the news cycle where, you know, like, oh, check out what these intrepid Destiny players figured out. Like there was like a real, like someone went like an upstate New York. There was like a Destiny spear, like one of these in-game things turned out to be something that had like a real world thing that you had to find. And it was a fucking spear.
Is this Atari era? What are we doing here?
Yeah, no, it's wild. So some dude found like a fucking spear. Right. So that's how up its own ass it is. So like, cause the hardcore fan base loves it. It gets them in the news. It's all over YouTube and social media. So they're just going to keep doing it. And I go, I can't do these fucking chores. I just want to shoot some aliens in the face. Like, I don't, this is stupid. I want to go look for spears in upstate New York.
God damn.
So yeah, I think it's just, maybe I'm not over Destiny, but there's definitely like this downward spiral that will reach a point where I don't think I can go, if it keeps doing this, I can't go back.
Is this our last podcast before E3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. E3 next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, next episode.
Hell yeah, we'll
throwing
talk
up-
about some E3.
Yeah.
I'm throwing up like cool hand signs, but nobody can see them. I just realized.
He's
I
throwing
think
up
the fact that you
MS-13
just
gang
realized
signs.
it is the best part.
I am. The fucking. I had an E and then a 3, like tucking in those ring fingers.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah, like you do. Like one throws up gang signs for E3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. You know what? We're at almost 2 hours. I think we should.
We
should wrap
This
it
is
up.
like our
Yeah.
longest podcast ever
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
of this
You're
new
too-
round.
We had some ground to cover. It's been a little while, so that's
has.
fine. Hopefully, our listeners don't mind either. I mean, the Giant Bombcast is usually about 7.5 fucking hours, so
That's
true.
people listen to that.
People love Bombcast though.
They do.
They love Giant
They
Bomb.
do. They love Giant Bomb. I try to listen to it, and they talked for like 37 minutes about burritos in the beginning of it. I love burritos, dude, but this is just too much burrito talk for me. Where are the video games at?
I like Giant Bomb. I love checking out their quick look videos and stuff. But I mean, I'm fast forwarded through that shit for like long periods of time. I'm not. There's quality content in there, but I'm not. I'm not a devotee. I can't fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, that's not for me, but that's.
But
okay.
they're good. They're good dudes. I like them.
It sure seems that way.
They're better than us. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's a
split
low
any hairs here.
benchmark. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, burrito podcast and all. I'll give it to them. They're better than us.
yeah. So that's not. Everybody, go listen to Bombcast after this.
But
This
still, listen
podcast
to
has
this
been
first.
brought to you by HelloFresh and Giant Bomb. And Casper.
We should just pimp out other podcasts that are better than us in our own podcast. Maybe we'll just switch our whole format to podcasts and talk about better podcasts than us.
That'd be very meta.
Yo, dog.
All right. So it's been a little while since I've done the outro. So
Don't
I
fuck
want
up.
to.
No pressure.
I want to thank everyone for listening. You can find Ludowave Radio on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Ludowave Radio. You can also find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, basically wherever you get your podcasts. And if you have just a moment, please review us, particularly in Apple Podcasts. That is just super helpful. It takes 30 seconds. It'd be super great for us.
Our egos
you
need
can also
it.
find our egos need it. So does our discoverability. It'd be
Well,
great.
that too.
Make other people suffer through this terrible podcast, please. You can also find Ludowave Radio on Facebook and on Twitter at Ludowave Radio. Our theme music is composed by Morning, Moon, and Mercury. You can find more of his stuff at morningmoonandmercury.bandcamp.com. You can find me, Craig, on Instagram, Twitter, and now YouTube again. At
What?
TVN Lust.
What?
Yes, I made a video. I'm unemployed. I got
unemployment
all this
does, yeah.
time. It's crazy. I talked about the Atari Lynx.
Hey, I have
had
one
a
of those.
cat.
Atari named all their systems after cats, is my understanding, but only 2 of them, like production, came out as cats. Jaguar. And Lynx.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
That's cute.
But I'm at TV and Lust on all 3 of those platforms.
What about
Seth, where can
Snapchat?
people find you?
Where do we find you on Snapchat, Craig?
You can find
This
me
has gone off the
exclusively. You can find me exclusively on Snapchat at Seth. I'm nowhere.
I
else to
wish
be
that
found
were
online.
true.
Oh man. What are some of those those social platforms like Peach? You can find me on Peach. I'm at TV and Lust. That's the only place where you can get Ludowave Radio.
Oh
is
God!
Peach.
The only place you could get Ludowave Radio is in a forest in upstate New York. Gotta go find this episode. Chris, where are you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at echrisdunn.
All right,
And we're out.
bye.